Well there, I know what you're thinking. MLB The Show 21, it's not even out yet. How do you know how to get the best team in MLB The Show 21? Well, I'm going to be saying this because it is the same dang thing every single year. I woke up 20 years ago, came out of the womb, and started playing MLB The Show 21. I'm a top 200 player. You guys know all this, and I am going to be telling you guys today how to make the best team in MLB The Show 21 Day 1, what you're going to want to be doing on April 16th if you pre-ordered it, or on April 20th whenever it actually comes out. So at the end of the year, you're not going to be rated this high. You're going to be starting brand new, and you're going to look to your squad, and it's going to look something like this. Now, whenever you end up getting the beginning of the year, a lot of guys want to have an absolute amazing team. Maybe you pre-order the game and you're going to be able to start with some of those 87s that are actually not that terrible. But what we're going to be doing is how are you going to get the best team as fast as possible. Big thing that you guys are going to want to do for MLB The Show 21 is you are going to want to grind these affinities. Now, I'm going to pop just real quick on the screen the type of affinities that they have dropped already. But these affinities off start are going to be super amazing. They're going to be such good cards. They're going to give you up to 89, 85 overall cards. Again, with the 42 series and the Orioles cards, you guys are going to want to grind affinities as fast as possible. Now, the fastest way to grind affinities is going to be Showdown. I don't care what anybody says. You're going to want to do Showdown. Showdown is just a way of life. You got to get good at Showdown because Showdown is something that you're going to need throughout the whole game. Nobody, especially if you're not wanting to spend a dime on the game, this is going to be what you're going to want to do. You're going to go through Showdown, and what you're going to end up doing is you're just going to be cranking American League, National League. Now, I genuinely think that is going to be exactly the same in MLB The Show 21 as it was in MLB The Show 20. But if you don't want to grind Showdown, there are a lot of people who struggle with Showdown. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you the fastest way to finish affinities in MLB The Show 21. It's going to be the same as MLB The Show 20. I don't see them changing it at all. And the big way that you're going to be doing this, and I don't recommend it off the start, is the first thing you're going to do, hands down, is you do the moments. You do the moments, they're going to help you go as fast as possible. And then you're going to do I don't usually like doing the Conquest. The Conquest takes a long time. But if you're one of those guys who loves doing the Conquest every year, I know I'm going to do it. Make sure you guys do the Conquest and make sure you do some of that. But the big thing that a lot of people are going to do and that they improved with speeds is March to October. Now, we don't know the exact level of affinity points. They did say in MLB The Show 21's video that they are boosting the affinities ASAP. So, affinity, and honestly, March to October, it might be a smart way to go. I don't know how it's going to be. I'm going to try it on MLB The Show 21, but this year it wasn't it. But they said that they were going to make it a little bit shorter in MLB The Show 21 and that they're going to add affinity points. So if that's something that you want to do, I ended up doing a March to October last year. I believe I did do it for the Rays, and it was a lot of fun. So if you guys want to go that way, you can, although usually it does take longer than Showdown, keep in mind. But it is a great thing to do whenever you're struggling on Showdown and you want to just have some fun. You'll get up to 72, and honestly, I believe that Legends should get you about 100 next year. So they'll probably bump it up an absolute ton, and you'll be able to get these affinities, guys. I mean, these guys off start were amazing. Blake Snell was a dog for me. He had a 3.6 ERA and 120 innings pitched at the beginning of the game. You're going to want to get these affinity guys as fast as possible. They are so good, and the other way to get them is going to be through exchanges. Now, I don't really recommend this at the beginning of the year, day one, the first week. Obviously, we're going to go more in depth whenever this ends up coming out, but the thing with this is that all of these cards are going to be so insanely expensive, and you're going to be needing stubs for your collection. So I don't recommend doing the exchange sets just yet. I recommend doing some of the other things. Now, obviously, the first thing you're going to want to do is affinities. The second one is going to be the inning bosses. So the inning bosses, basically, you're going to end up getting it. The inning bosses aren't going to be anything crazy, but they ended up going away from moments like they did last year. So although you want to go through all this, you can get all these free stuff. Obviously, this is the 11th inning, so it's juiced out of your mind, but you'll get free players. You'll get really good cards. These obviously won't be 87s, but they'll probably be like 82 or 80 golds. And those will make your lineup at the very beginning of the game. That's going to be what you want to do just because it is so incredibly helpful to have some of these inning guys. And at the beginning of the team, you're probably going to have silvers. Maybe you have a couple golds. Maybe you're a grinder and you're getting a couple diamonds. If you pre-order, you're going to get some of those 42 cards. So you'll probably have King Griffey in center. Those guys are going to be absolute dogs. I just want to make sure that you guys have the best team possible. So the first thing you're going to do is affinity. affinities. Affinities are probably the most important thing. The second thing is going to be grinding the inning and grinding ranked seasons and stuff like that. The third thing that I'm going to say is there's a beginning of the year conquest map. Now, the beginning of the year conquest map, I do it every single year. It's a lot of fun. It's something that you want to do. You can get some stuff. Like Tim Tebow was at the beginning of the year. I remember doing the Willie Mays one. Willie Mays actually was a good starter pack. And obviously, this takes a lot of time. I don't necessarily completely recommend doing this, but if you want the card that comes with it, we don't know who it will be this year, but I really liked the Willie Mays last year. I thought he was really good. This took a lot of time. It took me like a week to do, but it was a lot of fun, and you get a ton of stubs doing it. I probably got about 40 or 50,000 stubs by just playing the Conquest alone. You guys are going to want to do that day one. Just grind it out little by little. It is free stubs that you can get by just playing the game. You're going to want to do the Conquest. It's going to help you get Trout as fast as possible. Obviously, the next thing after that is going to be a little bit interesting. I am going to say after you do those three things, you want to go to the market. Now, at the beginning of the year, people are really stupid with stubs. They will spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of stubs literally on low diamonds. So don't be one of those guys at the beginning of the year that spends 90,000 stubs on an 87 overall Anthony Rendon. That's all I'm going to say. But they're going to be skyrocketed. Whenever I say that these live series cards are going to be stupid expensive, they're going to be crazy expensive. 90s at the beginning of the year, Cody Bellinger went for like $250K, and Trout's probably going to sit about 300,000 stubs off rip. He's going to be very expensive. Now, I know everybody's going to be like, I want Trout, I want DeGrom. Now, that is a completely viable thing, and I understand that you want to get the collection reward as fast as possible, because whenever you start this game, the first thing you're going to want to get is going to be your first inning collection, or your collection reward in general, who in my opinion is going to be Roberto Clemente. And on top of that, you're going to be grinding innings and everything, and you're going to want to get these teams, because these guys that start off and are making World Series are probably going to be spending about $100 to $300 off rip, just so they can have the best team off the start of the game. Now, the big way and the big loophole on how to make tons of stubs on launch day is you go to the golds. And the golds, honestly, you just sit here and you flip. A lot of the top golds at the beginning of the year are going to be like 10 to 15,000 stubs. And a lot of you guys are like, I don't understand. How are these? These are way smaller. This is the end of the year. It's going to be like this at the end of the year. By the beginning of the year, these cards are going to be worth like 15,000, especially the ones that rake. The guys like JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, a lot of guys like that who absolutely rake. All of these cards are going to be tons. Now, as you guys see, if you're brand new to the game, I'm going to break this down. What you're going to be doing over and over again is you're going to be doing buy and sell orders. So you're going to be putting in a sell order, and you're going to be putting into, let's say you buy a card for 1,500 stubs. You're going to immediately flip that 1,100 stubs for about, let's say, probably about 5K at the point. But for this demonstration, we're going to go 2,588. And whenever you do that, you're going to receive an extra 1,300 stubs. Now, one way to do this extremely fast is actually through a website on MLB The Show. You can do this without even being on your PS4 or Xbox. Go to MLB The Show, download the app, do the community market, and you can literally do this wherever. I'm going to kind of link of it and put it on the screen right now. But you can just sit here and complete orders over and over and over again. All of these just cards and stuff that you're buying and selling are going to make you tons and tons of stubs. And that's how you're going to be able to get a ton of stubs off start to make your God Squad. Now, the next thing that you guys are going to want to do ASAP is you're going to be doing, and I'm going to put more in-depth guides whenever the game comes out, but obviously the first inning is going to be out. Now, if you look at the first inning, I'm going to go all the way back to all of the innings, is that you're probably going to be seeing guys like Rogers, Hornsby, and some of these veteran cards at the beginning of the year that just, they aren't that great. They're not amazing, but the good thing about these guys is that they're going to be a lot of fun to use, and at the beginning of the years, cards like Kenny Lofton, Rogers, Hornsby's are actually really good because they have amazing stats, and they play above them. They have good swings. The big thing at the beginning of the year is go for guys with good swings. Don't go for the guys that are necessarily the highest rating. I mean, guys, day one, I'm going to be rocking with Yordan Alvarez, and I am going to absolutely rail baseballs because he is that good. On how to have a really good team, my big takeaway here is what you want to do, breaking it down simply, is work the market as much as you can. Literally day one, I'm going to be streaming. Of course, I'll be playing a little bit of ranked. I'll be ripping open the new packs. I'll be using all sorts of stuff like that. But I'm going to be sitting on the market. I'm going to be making a lot of stubs. And not only am I going to make a lot of stubs, I'm going to be able to build my team. And just like how last year, I was able to get Mantle within the first week of MLB The Show 19. No money spent without spending an actual dime on the game. I was able to do that. If you guys want to know more in-depth things for MLB The Show 21, make sure that you guys are subbed to the channel. I am going to be dropping in-depth guides. This is just kind of a breaker starter video, and whenever MLB The Show 21 actually drops, we are going to be doing in-depth guides for every single little part of MLB The Show 21. And boys, if this video ended up helping you guys out, if you guys can drop me a like and a sub, I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be the guy for everything to come with MLB The Show 21. We're going to have banger gameplays. We're going to have all sorts of stuff, in-depth guides that is going to help you have the best team at MLB The Show 21 possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like button. I'll catch you guys in the next one.